Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a trend that is so strange, you're just not going to believe people are actually getting rich from it.
So, let's dive into one of the absolute weirdest corners of the internet, right? I'm talking about those bizarre, seemingly pointless live streams that have just totally taken over the YouTube Shorts feed. The big question is this all just random nonsense? Or is there some kind of genius strategy behind it all?
Well, get this. You might be a little shocked to find out that some of these creators are pulling in up to this much.
Yeah, every single hour. So how on earth is that even possible? Like, what's the secret formula? And maybe more importantly, is there a hidden cost to making money this way?
Okay, first things first, let's really dig into what these streams actually are. And hey, just a heads up, it's about to get weird.
And I gotta stress, these aren't jokes or made-up examples. No, these are real live streams that have just blown up online. They've basically created this whole new, bizarre, and yeah, surprisingly profitable category of content. So the real secret to how this all works? It actually has less to do with the crazy content itself and everything to do with a very specific and kinda new feature on YouTube. So about 10 months back, YouTube rolled out something called Vertical Live. Now, the idea was to help creators get discovered, right? But what it really did, maybe by accident, was create this massive shortcut. A loophole, really, for pretty much anyone to get a huge audience, like overnight. Okay, so picture this. Here's how it hooks you. You're just minding your own business, scrolling through YouTube Shorts. Then, bam! The algorithm drops one of these live streams right into your feed. You see something completely absurd, and what do? Your natural curiosity just makes you pause, even for a split second. And that tiny little pause, that's like a giant green light to YouTube. It signals that the content is engaging, so it immediately starts pushing it out to way more people. And just like that, this simple little trick becomes something much bigger. It evolves into a very deliberate and, honestly, a very powerful marketing strategy. Yeah, this technique actually has a name, attention farming. And honestly, the name kind of says it all. The point isn't to create something good or valuable. It's simply to grab your focus and hold on to it for as long as humanly possible. You know, with most content, the creator is trying to entertain you or maybe teach you something. But not here. With this stuff, the goal isn't to be good, it's just to be, well, impossible to ignore. And the reason this works so well is that it's a dead simple psychological hack. I mean, think about it. Our brains are just wired to stop and investigate things that don't make any sense. When you see something totally bizarre, you can't help but pause and just try to figure out, what am I even looking at? Okay, but here's where it gets interesting. There's a puzzle. YouTube's own rules say that content has to provide value for them to put ads on it. So, if these streams have no real value, where in the world is the money coming from?
And this is the real genius of the whole model. These creators, they just sidestep traditional ad revenue completely. Instead, they've built a brand new system that runs entirely on direct, interactive donations for the people watching. So in this weird world, a donation isn't just a tip jar, a way to say, good job. No, it's a tool. It's like giving the audience a remote control for the live stream, letting them directly influence and take charge of what's happening.
And people pay for all sorts of reasons, but it almost always comes down to one thing. They want to participate in the chaos. They want to feel like they're part of the show, that they can influence what happens next. Or sometimes, they just want to poke the bear and see what happens.
Let's go back to that famous watermelon stream for a second. The model there was so simple. For every $5 a viewer donated, 5 more rubber bands got wrapped around the melon. What does that do? It creates this incredible suspense. It totally taps into our brain's desire for a payoff, for a quick reward. It makes people donate again and again because they just have to see that explosive conclusion. They want to be there, to be part of the moment it finally bursts. Okay, so this whole thing might sound like a pretty clever, if strange, way to make a lot of money. But there's another side to this story. And it comes at a pretty significant human cost to the creators themselves. And yeah, this is really the dark side of the trend. Creators often have to deal with just a constant flood of negativity and pure hate. As you can imagine, this leads to serious mental health problems, to burnout, which is why these careers are usually incredibly short. It's really become a kind of entertainment that's built on a foundation of public humiliation. So really, when you boil it all down, the entire strategy is just this simple 3-step formula. It's a rinse and repeat method, a pretty punishing one, for turning pure shock value directly into cash.
And this whole thing, this entire phenomenon, it has a name. It's called trash streaming. And it is seriously pushing the boundaries of what platforms and all of us as viewers think is acceptable content online.
And that leaves us with a pretty tough question to chew on, doesn't it? As viewers, what are we willing to reward with our attention and, our actual money? Where do we draw the line between just harmless, weird entertainment and what might be a new form of digital exploitation?